Tiki-Taka, a style of play involving highly accurate short passing and an emphasis on retaining possession of the ball. This is something that is normally very difficult to achieve in Football Manager, but of course, GYR has done just that. With this tactic, which is based off of Pep's Tiki-Taka style, we tested this with Celtic. They did win a domestic treble. Yes, it's Celtic, but they did it by getting 66% average possession in the Scottish Premier League. We also tested this with Aston Villa. They finished third in the Premier League and won a Carabao Cup, all whilst keeping up with 58% average possession. On your screen now, you will see the test that we did with Man City. Obviously, it's a Pep tactic, so we've tested it with Manchester City. Yes, they won everything. This isn't overly impressive in itself. Man City are very good in this year's game. I hear what you're saying, but it gets very impressive when we go into the Premier League and we expand this stages section. So you can see Man City win the league. They won 33 of their games. They drew 5. They did not lose. So it's an invincible tactic with Manchester City, but the impressive thing is that it only conceded 12 goals all season and got 104 points, winning the league by a comfortable 24 points. And if we go onto the team overview here, you can go on the possessions tab there. Manchester City, 62% average possession. Obviously, they have the ball an abundance, which is why they don't concede, because they are in control of the football. If we go over to the tactic, we will break this down in just a few seconds, but a couple shout outs. First of all, to Kev, who is a guy who is a Patreon on GYR's, which you can sign up to down below. He has tested this tactic on console as well with phenomenal results. So we now know it works on PC and Mac and on console. So massive shout out to him. You can sign up to GYR's Patreon. His links will be down in the description as always. We are going to go through now and break this down and go through everything individually. In goal, we have a sweeper keeper on support duty with no additional instructions on this one. In the right back spot, we have a fullback on attack. They have the additional instructions of cross from the byline, shoot less often, stay wider, and tackle harder. You know which ones are the additional ones, guys, because of the white cog and the red circle that are there. You get to them via the edit menu, and then you select them. You know that they are selected with the green outline around the boxes, as you can see on your screen right there. We also have on the left-hand side a wing back on support on this side with the additional instructions of cross more often, shoot less often, and tackle harder. Moving into the two defenders. Now, these are slightly different instructions, so you will have to tailor them correctly. On the right hand side, a ball playing defender on defensive duty with the additional instructions of dribble less and shoot less often. On the left hand side, we have a ball playing defender with the additional instruction of ease off tackle, so he will sit back a little bit more and kind of mop up the remaining play. Into the midfield three, at the base, we have a deep-lying playmaker on defensive duty in the defensive midfield position with the additional instruction of tackle harder. Then we have the two in central midfield. These are slightly different roles, doing slightly different things. On the right-hand side, then, first and foremost, we have a Mazzala on support duty with the additional instruction of tackle harder. And on the left-hand side, it's a central midfielder on support with the additional instructions of get further forward, roam from position, and tackle harder. On the right-hand side of the attack in three, we have an inverted winger on attack duty with take more risks, stay wider, tackle harder, and mark tighter. And on the left hand side, we have an inside forward on attack with the additional instruction of stay wider, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Completing this up front, we have a complete forward on attack duty with the additional instruction of shoot less and tackle harder. Now, I will say this is a tactical style saved by GYR. It is a custom Tiki-Taka, but what I will say is you can kind of select any of these. Really doesn't matter. Either Gegenpress or Clean Slate is usually where we would start. And if you follow the rest of these instructions, you will have the team looking exactly as G intends. The mentality is a positive mentality, and in possession, this is how we are looking, guys. A fairly wide attacking width in terms of our, obviously, attacking width. In terms of our approach play, we are passing out of defense and we are underlapping on both sides, the left and the right. So make sure you tick both of these boxes. The passing directness, of course, it's much shorter, but we are playing at a slightly higher tempo so far. In terms of the final third, we want low crosses into the penalty area and we are working that ball into the box Again, it is tiki-taka. And in terms of that creative freedom, we are being more expressive. In terms of in transition, we are counter-pressing when the possession has been lost, and we are countering when the possession has been won. This is FM23 after all. And in terms of our distribution type, we are distributing the ball to our centre-backs via the means of taking short kicks. Out of possession, this is how we're looking. High press with that line of engagement, a higher defensive line. We are triggering that press much more often and preventing that short goalkeeper distribution. If I super quick pick without restriction our best 11, you can kind of see some of the results in here. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 got 62 goals in the season. You also got 17 for Jack Grealish, 15 for Julian Alvarez, 12 for Riyad Mahrez, 12 for Bernardo Silva, 8 for Phil Foden, 11 for Kevin De Bruyne. This tactic's really good. Everyone's scoring tap-ins. You're going to love it. If you did love it, please do go and check out G in the description. And if you do like tactics on FM23, check out this playlist. It's all the tactics that G has released on this year's game.